Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Blockchain Today. And in this episode, we're going to be talking about Amazon and Alibaba, two huge players in the e-commerce industry. And then we're going to be talking about Jaguar and Volkswagen, another two giants in the automobile industry. And we're going to be looking at what they're doing in the industry today. So let's start with Amazon. Now, it's a hot company right now, and if you're wondering, no, this article or this particular segment isn't related to Warren Buffett buying more stock. So this is rather about what they're doing in the blockchain industry. So this was introduced in AWS's reInvent. So this is a webinar that happens on a regular basis, and if you guys haven't checked it out, I strongly suggest that you go and have a look at their webinar experience. So Amazon managed blockchain, which was their particular beta testing solution, has now left beta test and is available to the general public. So Amazon managed blockchain enables a group of members to execute transactions and share data without the need of a central authority or central server to grant transaction trustworthiness. This new device aims to simplify creating and managing scalable blockchain networks based on the Hyperledger Fabric and soon on Ethereum as well. So it's going to be available on the EVM for you guys to start coding on Solidity. And if you guys are already in tune with Hyperledger, which is one of the most popular solutions to use right now, then you guys can go ahead and start. So running a blockchain network usually requires each member of the network to provide hardware, install software, and deal with cryptographic certificates for access controls and all that sort of stuff. In addition to that, the network has to be monitored and it has to adapt to all of the transaction load variability and hash rate. So these are the kind of problems that Amazon is actually planning to tackle in the blockchain industry. So they're going to use their solution to basically remove these complexities and provide value to the developers. Which can go ahead and introduce provision network nodes, it can manage certificates, and it can take care of the scaling, which is very important. And it is also variable. So when they need a lot of scale, then the network can expand accordingly. And when they do not require that much of hash rate, the network can contract as well. So it's a very efficient and dynamic solution that Amazon is building. So according to Amazon, and this is their code, developers can set up a managed blockchain network in just a few clicks, which will allow them to focus on their own blockchain applications and not on the underlying infrastructure, which is brilliant because that is what they've been doing with the entire internet and its foundation as well. And these guys are good at it. So we can pretty much assume a lot of movement in this area. So, to improve the Hyperledger Fabric reliability, Amazon has replaced the Apache Kafka, which can be used to ensure sequential delivery of all transactions, with Amazon Quantum Ledger Database. So, this is abbreviated to QLDB. So, it is a fully managed ledger database used to store transactions, granting transparency, immutability, and verifiability under a certain trusted authority, which is obviously agreed upon by all of the actors of the network. So while there is enormous potential for supply chain and e-commerce improvement through blockchain, Amazon has stuck to its classic tendency to go big, and they've aimed to build the foundation for all industries, and that will invariably help blockchain based logistics startups, and they can go ahead and start developing their solution instead of focusing on the underlying technology and later on get acquired by Amazon, which is pretty much how their game has been so far. So this is a very hot topic, and we will keep an eye on this for you. So if there's any movements, you guys will know about it ASAP. So moving on from one giant to another, let's go to Alibaba, and they have made some ambitious claims to fight retailer fraud with blockchain. So what exactly is the problem with retailer fraud? So fraud is like one of the biggest challenges, obviously, in the retail industry when it comes to both food and luxury goods in particular. In 2016, PwC reported that food fraud is a 30 to 40 billion US dollar problem globally. Even more concerning is that contaminated food causes 420,000 fatalities annually, according to the World Health Organization. Meanwhile, the global trade in fake goods amounts to 461 billion US dollars, as stated by the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. According to the same report, about 63% and 21% of these fraudulent goods originate from China and Hong Kong, respectively. And we can see why that region, being in the spotlight for retailer fraud, is very bad for Alibaba. But this isn't the first time Alibaba is stepping up to fight fraud with blockchain. They have done this before. In China, fake and tainted or contaminated food is a common problem. Aiming at giving its customers transparency and traceability of food, Alibaba is developing a model for food quality and safety standards. So, back in 2017, Alibaba teamed up with PwC, Blackmores, and Fonterra to go ahead and bring forward the Food Trust Framework, a system for tracing food based on blockchain. So in March 2018, Links International, a subsidiary of Alibaba, announced the successful integration of blockchain into its logistics operations. So this was something that enabled the Food Trust Framework to go ahead and build a back-end support. So they're basically taking one stone and killing two birds instead of like they're tracking food and they're solving the logistics problem as well. So with the adoption of blockchain, the company can now keep an immutable record of all pertinent details relating to shipping and logistics across borders. So this is pretty much how blockchain aims to improve traceability and transparency, which will not only improve customers' trust but also minimize the risk of fraud. And they aren't only in supply chain logistics, they've also gone on and done something in particular for luxury goods. In April 2018, Alibaba launched a new blockchain solution for its Tmall Luxury Pavilion, a website dedicated to sale of high-end brands. Using blockchain, the platform can record the raw materials used, the circulation, and all of the marketing processes involved with the operation, starting from you getting it into your cart to it getting delivered to your home, and all of the processes involved before that, even in making the particular good that you've ordered. These data points are included into each item's unique blockchain identifier with the digital signature and a timestamp and query and verification purposes. Alibaba's activities also go beyond retail. In 2017, it was announced that Ali Health is working with the government of China on a blockchain project to improve patients' privacy and ensure immutability of medical history. The project will allow hospitals to securely share data on the blockchain as well as enable physicians to quickly verify medical information. So, with so much happening, it's hard not to see the stance that Alibaba has on blockchain. And we at Blockchain Today will follow this relationship very closely and give you all the updates. So, let's move on to our last segment for the podcast. And we're going to be talking about the automobile giants, Jaguar, Range Rover. We'll start with them. So, they are Britain's largest auto manufacturer, and they said very recently that it is testing a software that will allow drivers of its cars to earn the IOTA currency as a reward for sharing data. The company is developing what it calls smart wallet technology to be installed into its automobiles. This would reward Jaguar car drivers with IOTA coins for actions such as enabling their vehicles and automatically report useful data such as traffic congestion or potholes to navigation providers or local authorities. Drivers could also earn rewards if the car participates in a ride-sharing program. Jaguar said the tokens earned can be used to pay for tolls, parking, charging for electric cars as well. So normally we wouldn't talk about cryptocurrencies, but it's important to note why they have picked IOTA as a particular currency and not launched their own. So IOTA isn't a traditional blockchain, it is a DAG or a directed acyclic graph. So these are systems that are actually meant to be very, very scalable. So the more number of people there are on the network, the faster it gets. So I won't go into the technical details of it, but it is faster because it does not have to go and look at the entire history, but look at only two verification points. So whereas blockchain technology, the nodes go ahead and start verifying all of the transactions, these guys can do it by just checking two transactions or two related transactions to be particular. So they pretty much get faster and faster as you use it, but there are downsides to it. First and foremost is that unlike a 51% attack, a DAG only requires a 33% attack. And also, if it does not have enough members at the start, then it's very easy to go ahead and start creating double spend problems in the DAG. So that's why they haven't really replaced blockchain, even though they're more scalable. And IOTA in particular is a DAG that is focused on Internet of Things. So they were built to be a system of basically transmission of data and transmission of physical virtual currency, to but a lot of IoT devices, and that will basically help the IoT ecosystem communicate with each other, and that is why they have picked this for their solution, because as more and more cars have more and more technology in them, these cars have a lot of data input possibilities, and they have the particular need to start communicating with each other in the very future, because all of this technology already exists. So it's just about integration, and with the enabling of IOTA earning, you will see a lot better driving conditions, and you'll see a lot more incentives to go ahead and drive carefully. So that's why they've picked this particular currency. And we have to see what they're doing in the space, because this could change the way people drive on the roads. And here in India, we all know how big of a problem that is. Next, we move on to another blockchain auto manufacturer pair with IBM and Volkswagen. The German automaker recently announced that it will utilize the IBM blockchain platform to track minerals used in its supply chain. For cryptocurrency and blockchain investors, this provides further validation, and distributed ledgers are here to stay and have practical use cases across various business domains. Volkswagen announced it had joined an open industry collaboration to ensure that strategic minerals are mined responsibly. Utilizing IBM, blockchain, and Linux Hyperledger technology, the new platform provides access to immutable data that tracks the flow of minerals across the manufacturing supply chains in real time. The new network includes participants at each stage of the manufacturing supply chain. Some of the largest participants include Ford Motor Company, Vio Cobalt, and LG Chemicals. In addition to powering the new manufacturing mineral network, IBM has been pushing hard for a new money transfer system that will allow customers to settle cross-border payments in real time. Dubbed IBM Blockchain Worldwire, the new service is powered by the Stellar Lumens protocol, which is another cryptocurrency, one of the largest blockchain networks. IBM's WorldWire converts digital assets into the second fiat currency in practically seconds and a fraction of the cost that it takes right now. So we can see that IBM is really taking the torch and leading the industry in terms of development and providing support. And now we can see people like Amazon come in, and Alibaba. So we're seeing a lot of movement in the space, and we have a lot to cover. So we're looking forward to the next week's episode as well. So you guys, let us know if you like this. If you do like the video, then go ahead and like, and let us know in the comments what do you think about it and what would you like us to talk about in the next episode. And make sure that you subscribe if you think that we're giving you content that's useful for you. Thank you guys, and we'll see you next week. Bye bye.